When you are known, you know, when you've got a profile, you get a lot of love, but you can also get a lot of criticism. How do you, when you read things about you that you don't like or aren't true, what do you do to help make it not affect you?
Look, I think it's natural now for it not to affect me, but I think early on, I mean, like anyone, you know, I think back to school when, you know, I'd find out somebody had been, you know, talking about me behind my back or didn't like me, and it's like a dagger to the heart. Yeah. You just go, oh, why don't they like me? What did I do? And then when you know, it's amplified when you're in the media. Yeah. And, you know, and I remember when I started in radio and I accidentally happened upon, there was an article in the paper, and then of course sometimes online, and they had all the comments below. Oh, yeah. And a friend of mine had printed me the article from the, the computer, but they'd kept all the comments. Oh. And I remember sitting there, and there were like 10 pages just of hate me, you know, shouldn't be on the radio, no talent, I can't stand her voice. And I just, for days, I was just in this daze of all that vitriol and that hate. And what did I do to these people? And why don't they like me?
And they don't even know you, but have such strong opinions.
You do, and you know, I tend to think I'm a nice, well-meaning person, and I don't like to hurt people or upset them. So why are people doing that to me? Yeah. And mind you, that was probably in my first year of having a public profile. Right. And you know, now quite a few years later, it's just, you build a really thick skin, you have to. And you have to know, and this isn't just specific to people with public profiles, just in life, not everyone's going to like you, and not everyone's going to warm to you. And you know what? That's fine. That somebody else's opinion of me is their business. It's actually none of my business. No. And they're more than welcome to it. And you know, and I've gotten to a stage now where I don't even have bad feelings for people. You know, if I read something or someone's written something about me and I think, oh, that wasn't the best, I don't hate them. I just shrug my shoulders and think, you know, what matters in life, and we all know it's the people that love you, your friends, your family, and you just have to let everything else go. Because if you focus on it, and you know, you think about bullying, and you know, we now look at bullying as an epidemic, even though it's been around forever. I think the same applies. It's reinforcing the good in your life and ignoring the bad.
Which can be tricky too, though, when you're having a bad day, because you're human at the, you know, you do have feelings.
Absolutely.
And stuff. It's just sometimes that viciousness, and I don't have anywhere near the profile that you have, but it's still amazing that people will find you and send you a, you know, and you've got to take in the, you know, you might get a beautiful comment, but you look over that, go, that's nice, and then you go straight for the negative and go, why do they think that about me? But you're right, you've got to just take it with a grain of salt. And I go, you know what, if you spent a minute with me, you'd know I'm normal and you would like me.
And you know that about those people. You know, when I've read nasty comments about me, I've just thought, well, I know that is a person sitting there in their lounge room on their iPad, you know, they've got one eye on the telly, one eye down here, I hate her, you know, she's pathetic. I don't think they really think that about me. I think if they met me, you know, you'd hope they wouldn't if they did sit down with me. But look, even if they didn't, it's really so important in life to not take what other people say about you as gospel, because it's not. It's just someone's opinion, and you've got to let it go. And like you said, it is really hard sometimes, and you can focus on something nasty or terrible that's been said about you. But you know, this is your life. You get one shot at it. Are you going to focus on being happy, or are you going to focus on things that are negative? And that applies to everything in your life. You know, sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to. And you get to decide how you interpret information, and you either interpret it positively or let it drag you down. Yeah.
What about when you see things written in magazines that have almost look like they're exclusives, but you know it's complete bullshit? Yeah. Does that make your blood boil, or do you go,
I now, it's water off a duck's back now, but it hasn't always been.
It's so strange though. I would find it so strange to read something and go,
that's not true.
There's nothing true about this.
I know. Yeah, it is difficult, because you have this, your initial instinct is to set the record straight. Yeah. So you think that's clearly not true, and everyone in my life knows that's not true. Yeah. But now, you know, for the 90% of people who are reading that, they're believing it. Yeah. But then look, I tend to think, I hope that people read things and they're now aware that what they're reading is more often than not fictional. Yeah. So, but look, even if they're not, once again, it does tie back to it's if it isn't true and you know it's not true, and the people in your life that you care about know it's not true, it doesn't matter what other people think. I think reputation, particularly when you're young, and I think in your teenage years, and particularly even in my 20s, I was very concerned about my reputation and how will that look if I do that or if I say that. But you start to realise, really, your reputation is other people's perspective of you or their opinion of you. And it's not real.
No, it's not real.
So I think if you can focus on that.
And it's dangerous, I guess, to get caught up in that, the ego side, worrying,
Absolutely.
Just bring you undone.
Well, it does. And I think, for me, yes, I realise I have a public profile, but I also have a private life, and I like to keep my private life private. Now, by the nature of my job and the way I am, I talk a lot and I let things slip and I happily talk about certain things, but I think everyone has the right to have or keep what they want private. And that doesn't even just apply to people with public figures. I mean, in any job, very rarely does someone walk into, an office situation and go, guys, just to let you know, this is what I'm going through. Everyone has a private life. But when you've got a public profile, everyone seems to know what you're going through. But
and feels sometimes the right that they have that right to feel what know what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly. It is, and I'm really lucky, and I'm so grateful to have so much wonderful support out there, because listeners of the radio show and people have supported me through my career who I've never met. I just get so if something's written about me and I know it's not true and I think it can be quite hurtful. When you get sort of people making contact or writing me emails or saying, hey, read that was really awful, but just letting you know we're thinking of you, or so, you think, oh gosh, that's just so lovely, because you don't know me. And so I've had wonderful support all through my career by great people. So.